So, recently my life has been involving and asking for a lot of change and a lot of newness and a lot of unknown, and that has made my days incredibly roller coaster like. It has caused a lot of reflection and a lot of realizations. Biggest realization is entering a life of adulthood and entering a real life as a creative, real life as in there are real needs and real things that need to be done. Reality is reality, and as a creative, you grow up and you're younger and it's easy to be creative because you don't have to do anything else. You know, if you were extremely privileged like me, that you are just a kid and you're just creative, and then you get into adulthood and then you're this person that's creative, but then there's life that happens, which is completely normal. And I think I'm learning how to adapt to life and learning that I need to adapt as a creative. It's different than adapting to adulthood as not a crazy person, as not a creative artist. But as an artist, you have to adapt to real life because real life and the things life expects of you aren't the most freeing and dreamlike and kind, which is all things that an artist needs to survive, right? Freedom, dreaming, adventure, optimism, downtime. You know, you need a lot of downtime to do those things, to be free, to create, to let your mind wander. Life doesn't really have a set path for that, of just time to wander, time to wonder, time to dream, time to create, time to fail in your creation, right? We all know that. That's real life. And as an artist, okay, anyway, so that has been the catalyst of my many emotional ups and downs the past couple months. I think I'm just learning a lot, and I wanted to just talk about life as a creative and just stuff about creativity, really. So that's what this is just going to be about. There's not really any set path. I will probably be really confusing and not make any sense. So, yeah. But the catalyst of this was me thinking about my life and thinking about all the things I want to do and thinking about all the hard work it's going to take, reflecting on the past hard work I've done. And I think, okay, sorry. And I think that it can sometimes feel like sometimes you're doing a lot of hard work in your life and it can feel like it's not paying off and you get really discouraged. Two things I realized when I had this thought of like, what's the point of working this hard when nothing freaking pays off, or it feels like just nothing is gonna ever amount to anything. Not even that I need it now, but it feels like just nothing's ever gonna happen. I thought of two things. I thought of this thing that Michael B. Jordan said I saw like on a TikTok or something. And he said, I'm obsessed with finding myself now and not having to prove anything to anybody, and that is enough. Giving your best is enough. So, first of all, yes, giving your best is enough, right? That's all we can freaking do. That's literally all we can do is give our absolute best and up ourselves in our best. I think the second thing of that quote is blocking out the noise and blocking out your fears. And maybe you don't have a lot of like haters or people saying things or people viewing you or something, but even just knocking out the feeling of possibly somebody can observe me, or blocking out the feeling of proving anything to anybody, or no matter how much they matter in your life, just completely ignoring the point of proving anything to anyone and just becoming enamored on your own journey is something you have to do. You have to have tunnel vision in your life. As a creative, as an artist, you have to focus on yourself and not get caught up in what people think of you, especially people who have different ideas of what success is and different ideas of where you should be in your life and stuff like that. Anyway, so that kind of got me thinking. I don't know if that really matters to anything I'm saying, but it just really inspired me, so I just thought I'd share it. I think it's so easy to feel like your hard work's never paying off or never going to pay off. And I had to tell myself, Natalia, you're not the exception to the rule of hard work paying off. If you work hard, it will pay off. If you show up, you will be seen. That's just point blank period. It will happen. And I think in certain scenarios of life, you can absolutely be the exception to the rule. I think you don't have to abide by a lot of people's rules or a lot of people's perception of you. I don't think you have to live or expect to live in accordance with what other people have expected or what other people have done. I think you can always break the mold. But there are some things that you are not an exception to. And one of those, principles is hard work. You're not going to be hardworking and giving your all and showing up for yourself every day and being the best and never amount to anything. That doesn't happen, And so finding comfort in that you're not the exception to the rule of hard work paying off. You are, what is it called? You're not exempt from seeing the fruit of hard work. You will see it no matter what. I had this kind of visual of my life. The things I'm doing in order to create my life now as an adult and to create my life that I want to see in the future and to become who I want to be creatively and career-wise. It's not linear and it requires a lot of faith and it requires a lot of belief in oneself and belief in connection to the higher power of creativity. And it's not easy. Those aren't easy things. They're natural and they are inherent to who we are, but they're not incredibly easy. The things I've been trying to do for myself, pour into and work at for myself. I had the visual of having 5 different jars, and every day I'm pouring little droplets into each jar in hopes to one day see the fruit of 5 full jars, I guess. Obviously, the easier path in life when you're not crazy and you're not an artist is that you fill 1 jar and work at it every day. And it comes faster and you have a full jar easier, and that's really rewarding and really awesome. But that's not me. I have 5 different jars and I'm pouring droplets each day, and that can get incredibly frustrating because it's I don't even freaking have half a jar full. I don't have half a jar full. It gets really frustrating. And and when you look at things like that and you're I don't even have 1 half jar full. This person has 2 half jars full, but I don't even have 1. And it's because I'm filling 5 jars. And am I passionate about those 5 jars? Yes. Would I choose 1 jar over 5 jars? No. Is it frustrating with 5 jars? Yes. But would I choose differently? No. Okay, anyway. So I have the 5 jars, and you get frustrated, and I think the enemy of producing 5 full jars isn't that there's so many jars, or isn't that you can only do so little at a time. I think the enemy is the frustration, and when you stop to fill those jars because of the frustration and because of the confusion and because of the doubts in your head, that's what stops you from doing the little bit every day. And that's the enemy of progress. What do they say the enemy of progress? What do they say the enemy of progress is?
The enemy of progress is perfection.
Oh, perfection. That's true. But I think inconsistency is the enemy of progress. There's lots of enemies of progress, but I think a huge one is inconsistency. Because I'm no exception to the fact that if I pour 2 droplets into 5 jars every day, they will be full jars eventually. The only thing that could make them not full jars is not pouring anything, So that's honestly the life of a creative, is slowly filling a bunch of jars. Maybe you have 10 jars. I don't know. Some people do. Maybe you have 3. It's still frustrating. I guess I feel like I have 5. I don't know why I said 5, but anyway. I thought that was really encouraging. I feel like I make no sense and I should stop talking, but whatever. That's what it takes, and you just have to suck it up and keep going. Droplets every day. Come on, people, let's go. Okay. The other thing I wanted to talk about was freaking Addison Rae's new album. I love it. I love everything about it. I love her. My favorite song has to be In the Rain. I just relate to the lyrics so much, and it's a great song, and it's so airy and so 90s, and I love it. The thing I love about her and this album and this revamp of her persona or whatever is that I think that she exemplifies the beauty of choice as an artist, and like as an artist, as a being, like being an artist yourself, not just a musical artist. I think she has obviously ruffled feathers with people like being like, is it authentic? Is it manufactured? Is it this? Is it that? I think people get upset when you disrupt what they expect and you disrupt their idea of you. And I think it's actually incredibly bold how she's like remade who she is in the public eye. And a beautiful example that you don't have to stick to the mold that you even created for yourself. You don't have to stick to the mold that the people of the world expect from you, you know, and there's a lot of eyes on her. You don't have to adhere to that mold forever. You can use that mold and break from it when it doesn't serve you anymore and evolve into this new creature. And I think that's what people get so bothered by, is these people that never gave themselves the permission to evolve now are bothered by somebody evolving and it actually working out in their favor, which often it does because you're being true to yourself, and things usually work in your favor when you're true to yourself. And I think that's why she ruffles so many feathers, is because she allows herself to change and just grow as a person and just grow as an artist and show people the growth and disrupt people's perception of her and just completely rewire it. And I think it's freaking cool and awesome when people just want to disrupt. Any sort of disruption is obviously super fun to observe. And I think it's cool showing that the mold is completely optional. You know, as she's done this, I literally watch people just in the cultural, like on TikTok, people are just being freaking set free. They're like creatives are like, oh, like she's just an amazing example to them to just maybe to go with the mold and then to be able to perfect the mold so much and that you can actually break from it and become something completely new and a complete evolution from the mold. And I think it's really inspiring to people. It should be inspiring to you if you're listening to this, even if you're not a creative. You don't have to stick to the mold that was given you by family and friends that you gave yourself at one point in your life, and allow yourself to evolve. I think evolution is the most crazy thing, especially as I feel like I'm literally constantly evolving. Every month I'm like a brand new person and a brand new mentalities and ideas, and I think that's what often can really bug me in my life is, or that's why I can often be at war with myself sometimes, is the fact that I am a new person than I was last month. There's a tug of war in between who I was and who I am choosing to be today. And yeah, that's like a whole story, like for my therapist or something, I don't know. And anyway, back to Addison Rae. Her album and the creation of it, I think, is all an incredibly beautiful example of choice, you know, like the people she chose to work with, the art she chose to make, because there's such a conversation about her authenticity. And I think there's only even a conversation about it because there is something authentic that resonates with people that makes them uncomfortable with the fact that she made it and it feels authentic, that this has to be manufactured authenticity or something like that. They're bothered by it because it resonates, I think. And I think that in itself shows you that it is authentic and it was created by people. And I think, who are you to validate art by the level of authenticity it was created with? That's tricky because I think it's a valid argument. Like, there's definitely artists where I'm like, that's just not you, girl. Like, you just sound like you're trying to reheat so-and-so's nachos or whatever. That's totally a thing. But those people don't even get discussed, you know, like as much as maybe Addison Rae's sound is. If there's not even any authentic resonation, we're not even really talking about it as a society because we just dismiss it as inauthentic. As to where there is a conversation about her album because there is an authenticity to it that people don't know what to do with. I think just her as an artist is fascinating to me because I resonate a lot with some things she says. Like, I resonate a lot with the power of your own taste and that being almost your creative tool, like your taste alone. I love the subject of your own taste because you can really curate your life with your taste. I think taste and curation is a talent in itself as much as being a rock star guitarist or as much as being a rock star vocalist. I think taste and intuition and curation is just as valid of an artistry as being the best painter, or like I said, being the best vocalist, being the best dancer. And I think that creates such beautiful art. Anyways, I find the way she created the album to be so beautiful. The way she collaborated with these producers, I think is just such a beautiful product of being authentic with people and feeling safe and being honest with people. And I think we would have so much better creation, like so much better in all realms of artistry. I think we would have so much more to chew on as observers when artists come together to make something and are authentically real and honest and give up, some control. Not give up some control, but give up all say into a project. I think beautiful what can come out of that, when you're sitting back and saying like, okay, I don't even know how to play a freaking piano, but this person does and we can collab, and that's awesome. You can make something beautiful, and it is still a valid piece of artwork. It doesn't even matter if you can perform it. The artwork is valid because it is art. It doesn't have to be performed. It doesn't have to be perfectly curated for a concert. It doesn't have to be even sound good live, but if the art is good itself as a song, it's still good. There's no invalidating that. People will be like, oh, she can't perform, oh, she can't sing, blah, blah, blah. So what? It's still a good freaking piece of art and a good thing that is resonating culturally and resonating with people because of its authenticity and because there was real people that made it. You just can't invalidate it. I just hate when people brush it off when I see something real. I just think she's so cool, and the fact that, back to taste. I love, this is literally, like, I could do, like, a series of this. I love observing people, like, in the music industry, observing people's, not even the music industry, observing musicians' processes for creating albums and creating songs, and the way they get downloads, and, like, the way it comes to them and the choices of sound. I literally find it so fascinating. It's like amazing to me. It's like watching a magician like do magic. I'm like, I think it's so cool, and I could talk about it forever. So anyway, I don't know if anything made sense, but I just think it's a beautiful record. I think the concept behind it all is fascinating. I think the power of choice, like I said, is fascinating, and me as an artist, and I hope you as an artist can be encouraged. Like, it's literally fun that we can create art and choose the feelings, choose the emotions that we want people to have when receiving our art, and making it into this whole form of an artwork in itself, like the way we live our lives, the way we dress, the way we present, the way we speak, the pace we do things at, like the way we make people feel with the inflections in our voice, our tones, everything can be a complete artwork. And I just find that so fascinating and think it's so freaking cool. And I think we need more like just completely rounded artists. I need to see more of that. I think it's freaking cool. I think it's just a reminder to not be afraid to break the mold of what once was, and to not be afraid to evolve, and to not judge, and to be free, and let people be free, let people be authentic, let people be themselves, let people make their choices. The choice to live your life the way you do can be very intentional and make people feel a certain way, and that is just so powerful as an artist, and I think it's awesome. And it goes back to the choice of me choosing how to live my life. It's awesome, but it takes hard work. It takes even harder work. I hope you found this interesting. If there's anything you guys want me to talk more about, or if this finds you and you don't know how it found you, hello. My name's Natalia. Ooh, not me saying my name. Hope you can send this to your creative friends. I hope you can do something creative this week. Allow yourself to evolve this week. Allow your mindsets to change this week. My dream is to kind of have like a creative podcast where I can have people that inspire me creatively, or just that I respect so much and love their processes of creativity. I think that would be like so awesome. Obviously, I have to get way better at talking, but whatever. Yeah. Keep going. Be authentically you. Let yourself evolve. It'll all work out. It's all gonna make sense one day. Love you. Hope you enjoyed this. Bye.